Man, KDE is so good it'll make you sit in the middle of a wet road.
Sometimes this is what Linux usage is like. You're just like sitting in the road, eating noodles out of a takeout container.
40 minutes after installing Linux, this poor gentleman.
Yeah, this is what happens immediately after you install Debian.
That's compensation noodles.
Yeah, compensation.
No, you do apt install noodles, and then it just like gives you the takeout container, right?
Ball on your head.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're saying, your computer may not have the specs to run Windows 11. It may not have the TPM modules. Microsoft is saying, you can only use these types of computers. And you could keep on running your old version of Windows, but you're going to lose a bunch of security patches. You're going to lose software support as software just arbitrarily stops working on Windows 10 because they pushed out a version that does a version check. So why not install a distribution
like
that
they're trying to sell it
KDE?
to vampires, man? Why Plasma?
Yeah, why Plasma? Yeah. Yeah, it's just like fucking Blade on the other end of this computer. He's Wesley Snipes wrote this webpage site. They try to lure people in. The Cube, man. The Cube was like fucking hot shit in 2006.
Oh yeah.
Does it hit the same in 2024 or 2025 as it does back in the day? Because the comp has visual effects. We hadn't seen shit like that before, but now people don't really use desktops. That sort of like flair is kind of not really a thing anymore. I don't know.
I mean, it still looks like something I'm like, oh, this is dope. And I uninstalled it.
Yeah, well, you don't end up using it because it's a lot of fiddly stuff.
Yeah.
And like honestly, there's some good advice in here. There's some good rationale as to why you would want to install Linux and drop Windows. There's the security, the privacy. You get control over your machine. One less than helpful piece of advice they give, though, is rely on the free software community, which is a bit of a loaded statement. They give a couple of resources that are like KDE specific resources, but telling people Google shit. Maybe not the best way of going about it. And I think this is where we've talked about this before. This is where like Arch Linux and their wiki is like the fucking best thing that ever happened to Linux, in my opinion. Like the quality of documentation present at that point where you can just like go look for a thing and find detailed instructions and then at the end of it have a working system. It's pretty fucking good. I feel they really should have like curated more of that type of resource. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe we need like baby's first Arch wiki, something a little more like new user focused. I don't know. Either way, although all that aside, I would say honestly, most folks these days with a modern Linux system could make the switch to like Debian or like Kubuntu or whatever, and after like a month of adjustment, be perfectly content doing whatever it was they were doing previously on their Windows or their Mac. Because what were they realistically doing? Watching TikTok videos, browsing Facebook, checking emails, blah blah blah. They might even be able to play some games now all of a sudden. That might be fucking cool. The only problem I really have with this is that it is a long fucking article and people don't read. So
hit me with something positive.
I've been daily driving KDE at work and I quite enjoy it. I think it is a solid experience. And like I said, I do genuinely think that with minimal adjustment, most people who are very familiar with Windows could be comfortable within a KDE environment as long as they don't need like specific software that only runs on Windows. I think that's the main thing.
This is a fun experience. I think it's a fun hopefully it's fun and lighthearted because like it completely misses the actual like issue. And that is it's 2025. People don't install operating systems.
No.
They don't. Like even the Android ROM hacking community, there's like 6 of us left, man. We are a very weird crowd. And we're not talking about Linux users. No. We are a very weird crowd. People who install operating systems. We take a computer, wipe it, and put something else on it that didn't come with. I'm not talking about your automatic upgrades. No.
Hell, even people do like clean installs of Windows on their Windows machines, right? Like that's a minority, right?
Exactly. And so when you're faced with the type of person who's like, well, this machine says it can't upgrade to Windows 11. That's just what they're going to use on it, man. Like until they buy something else.
Yeah, they're just going to go on to Best Buy and be like, I need a new computer. And the fucking salesman is going to be like, here's one you don't need. That is like, grandma, you need the fucking laptop with the RTX 5080 Ti.
Okay. In fact, eGPU docks are on sale this week. We can get you into this 5090 for like less than $6,000.
Have you heard about SLI, grandma?